right, back at you with another one. Now, we have the Super 7 Godzilla -1 Toho Ultimate Series. Now, this box is pretty simple. It's just basically follows the -1 color pattern, which is that, you know, white, light blue, and tan, brownish colors. So you get a window on the side here with some Japanese writing. You get the G-1 logo on the back. G-1 on the other side. You're going to have a nice window on top of the box. Nothing on the bottom, just writing. But and then, of course, we got the Goji inside. So, yeah. All right, let's get them out of there and take a look at it. Okay, let me show you the packaging with the clamshell. You're going to get the open mouth head. The closed mouth is already on it. Tail in the back. Get some really nice design on the inside of that box there, going along with the -1 colors. So that's cool. I mean, that's a diorama if you want to use it. But, yeah, pretty dope. Okay, so yeah, Super 7, baby. I love the way Super 7 does its -1s. They're very nice. I got them backwards, basically, you know what I mean? I got the minus color version first, then the charging version, and now the regular version. Yeah, I've had this figure for a little while. I started the review and then just never finished it, so I'll be doing that now. I think this is quite impressive looking. It's a nice take on -1. It looks like -1. I like the sculpt. I like the detail on the body, especially right there on the chest. Those nooks and crannies on the chest. Awesome. You know, it's a nice, these Super 7s have fairly nice paint jobs to really bring out the details on them. And they're chock full of details here. I really, really like the facial sculpt. I think it looks nice. I think it looks like -1. I love the neck. And you're going to see here that it's got fairly good teeth and fairly good eyes. Yeah, the eyes actually really make it look kind of menacing. They're nothing spectacular, but they're just done right. So yeah, and let's turn them around here. We're gonna see now. I got them hunched over a little bit here, just to start it off. And you know, one of the things to point out while he's hunched over is this smooth piece here, which I've done that in my reviews. Check out my reviews for the minus color version of this figure and the charging up version of this figure as well. But you can see here this smooth area, which is like that for articulation, is going to look different than the rest of the body. You're going to get a little bit of that smoothness up here on his shoulders. And you know, you'll get like kind of a shinier, smoother, although detailed version on the feet. But you're going to get this smooth version right here on the back and on this piece. Not a major drawback, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. It's got good side-to-side movement, good rock, which makes that forgivable. You know what I'm saying? That's the bottom line, you know. But I dig the overall look and the size of it. You know, this is like probably like a 7 to 8 incher, I think, maybe 8 incher. I don't know. They're fairly big. They're bigger than higher. And I love the way the dorsal plates are done here. It's just very nice, you know. They go to the tip of the tail. We're going to examine that tail because I don't think you could do much with the tail in the way of articulation. You know what I mean? Like, the articulation is acceptable for these figures. It's not going to be SH Monster Arts level or maybe even higher level, but That's fine. It's a different style of articulation, and it still allows you to put some good dynamic poses. Um, and I'm just a sucker for Godzilla -1. I love this design. One of my favorite designs of Godzilla. I just gobble up -1 figures. You know what I mean? And now we're, pretty much on the cusp of Godzilla -0, the sequel. So I'm excited about that and the figures that are going to come with that. But let's pose this guy a little. Okay, I'm going to go right to this nice tail off the ground pose here, just so that you could see how these legs function, for one. You get some good movement in the feet, good swivel, good articulation, good balance on this figure. The tail is definitely, it's thick and stiff. You know what I mean? So there's not going to be too much you could do with the tail as far as like really coiling it and curling it. But, I'll just show you like the limitations of it. But this is a beautiful pose, man. You know what I mean? I love that action, lurching forward type of pose right there. And that looks nice, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at that right there, and you could say Super 7 makes a nice Godzilla -1 figure. That's nice. That will look nice on your shelf. All right. So, arm articulation is good. Nothing too crazy. You know what I mean? They go straight out and up and around. And good, decent bend at the elbow there, The interesting part of the articulation is the head. I like the system. It just clicks up like that, clicks down like that, clicks to the side, clicks to the middle, clicks to the side. And it's smooth in function. So where you could really get a nice look into the side pose here. Obviously, you got turn at the waist, and you got good rock at the waist. So, to give a dynamic pose like that. So, yeah, it's not SH Monster Arts or higher articulation, but it's quality nonetheless, because it allows for a beautiful pose like that, man. I love this. Okay, so now that's about as wide as you're getting, the arms there, and as wide as you can get the legs as well. Yeah, so that's not too bad. The tail is not really, doing more than that. That's about as much as you're getting it to curl. You could move this piece to give it a little bend at the end. So it looks like that. But you're not getting, it's a really chunky, stiff tail, And as far as the head, the head piece moves like that as well. And the entire neck piece moves, which is very nice, man. So you could really have Godzilla looking up and to the side like that. And it's nice that they both do that. I think the head articulation on this figure is a definite highlight. Yeah, that looks very good. Okay, so now we got that famous, basically roaring when he first steps foot into Ginza pose, famous pose from the movie where they could see him from the train. And this right here is the open mouth head, just so you can see. I mean, the mouth isn't, very open. It's just open a little bit. Yeah, this head is a little slightly lighter than the body. I prefer the closed mouth head, honestly. That's not saying this head is bad. It's okay. The teeth are fairly well done, as you can see here. Eyes are not terrible. It's a cool head. I just feel like you could see it right here. The body's a little darker than this particular head. So the closed mouth head kind of fits the figure a little bit better, as you could see here. But I think the teeth are fairly well done. I like the way they do the face. I like the detail on the face. The teeth and eyes are not, they're not terrible. You know what I mean? So that looks pretty good. I like posing them in this pose right here, you know? It's kind of menacing. But yeah, that's the closed mouth head. And we could get him into a nice roaring into the sky pose like this. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You know, like that head is nice. It's just, it's slightly off a shade, in my opinion. It doesn't look terrible with it, but, yeah, it looks nice anyway. The figure looks dope, man. You know what I mean? I just happen to, I think, prefer the closed mouth head on the figure. But nothing wrong with that. It's not too bad. You can see it's just a little bit, you see the difference in shading? This is like browner almost. Which is kind of strange. But we'll stick to the closed mouth head for the posing on the shelf. But that looks really nice anyway, man. Now, swimming pose is looking like this. Which, it's not terrible. The tail just doesn't extend straight is the only problem, but the head looks fairly straight away here. So you can do a somewhat nice swimming pose. Okay, we could achieve a really nice foot stomping pose right here. That's cool. Look at the way I like the movability you get on the feet there. It's good, decent foot articulation. Good swivel, good bend. I like that. Tail helps out a little bit. And I love the way the head and neck function. You know what I mean? Where you could really make them look down or to the side the way you want. And that's a nice foot stomp pose. Yeah, I'm very much digging the paint job on this. Kind of similar to like the Bandai, you know? A little more subtle though, but similar to the Bandai vinyl. And the SH Monster Arts with that like tannish, creamish color sprinkled throughout. Really, really nice detail on the chest. And on the side of the head. You get some nice turn at the waist here. You get good rock. And the dorsal plates are very well done on this figure. Like, look at that. Even down to the tip of the tail here. The detail on the dorsal plates is really nice. And that's certainly a highlight of this figure, you know. Yeah, it's, you know, overall, it's a good -1, man. I can't really complain about it too much, you know. It's fairly nice. It would be nice if they were a little less money, you know what I mean? Just, you know, considering, because you would think that they would have more along the lines of SH Monster Arts articulation, or even higher articulation at the price. But the articulation is good enough. The tail, I mean, you could get it in some cool poses. It's just not going to, it holds its pose. It just doesn't curl as much as you would want it to. But this is a mean looking -1, man. I like that. And I really love, you can see here the torso and the torso functionality, the waist functionality. I like it. That's a highlight of this. Okay, so now we're just going to compare all three of my -1 Super 7s here. So this is the regular version, the minus color, which I'm a huge fan of. I love that figure. And this very nice charging up version. Now you could see the difference in the dorsal plates because this is charging up. They're a little bit taller. You see that? You know, because they extend out and then they slam back down when he shoots his atomic breath. So when they're charging up, they pop out like that, and then they basically cock back down, almost like a gun. Really, they function. But you could see that You could see that difference right there. But very nice to have all three. I'm very glad that I own these. They're quality -1 figures. I like them a lot. All right, so that's going to wrap it up, folks. Remember, check out my videos for the other two Super 7 -1s as well. I do recommend this figure, you know what I mean? I would get a higher in SH Monster Arts first if you're getting a -1. If you're a collector like me that wants to gobble them up, then you might want to add this guy. It's not a bad figure, you know what I mean? It's just not higher or SH Monster Art level yet. But, I mean, look at that. That looks pretty expressive and nice. So, worth the purchase? Yes, I'd have to say so. It's a good-looking -1. But if you like this, go out, get you some -1 Goj. Like the goddamn video, subscribe to the channel, and I will be back at you with another one soon. Peace.